Hi everyone, this is DiAnn, and I am excited to bring a book recommendation to you. It's titled Mercy's Rain. It's written by Cindy Sproles. It's an Appalachian mountain, and you will love it. I'm going to read to you just a little bit of chapter 1, and I know you will fall in love with the character, with the time, with the wisdom and experience that you will read in this novel. Chapter 1, Spring, 1897, Wadlow Mountain, Tennessee. Married and widowed at 13. A mother and childless at 15. Ain't nobody should have to learn life like I did. No soul should have to claw their way back from the bowels of hell, scared and scraped up like I was. I hate these memories. What don't kill you will make you better. I reckon them was the only words from the pastor that stuck. Don't you make your mama late to the river. Don't look right for the pastor's wife to be late to the baptism. My arms weighed down from the pile of kindling the pastor stacked on them. Yes, Pastor, I turned and walked fast to the porch, daring not to drop nary a piece of wood. We'll be on time with the basket lunch. Nothing had changed since I was a young'un. Even as a woman, I still cowered at the sound of his voice, but I was never the same after the morning Pastor took on judge, jury, and Jesus. Life ain't much different on the mountain than it is in the valley. A man's lucky to have a horse and wagon, lucky to have a shack with a tin roof. There are sinners on the summit and sinners in the foothills, and I reckon Pastor Roller planned on washing every sin from every man. They was no washing my sin away. I made a mighty harsh decision, one I'd grow to regret, one I'd have to live with. I spread a blanket over a strand of grass and brushed down the wrinkles. Over here, Mama, bring that basket over here. I got us a spot laid out. Mama carried an apple pie in one hand and a basket full of chicken in the other. There you are, Mercy. She lifted the basket and wiggled her fingers in a half wave. The aroma spun in the breeze, meshing with Mrs. Taylor's fresh sourdough bread. It could be a prettier day for a man to repent and then go down to the river for baptizing. Is they, Mama? Ain't it a wonderful morning? I turned my face to the sky and let the sun draw out the mess that seemed to fill my mind. Best I can remember, I was happy for once. I knew Stanley Farmer and what he lived with. When he mustered the courage to go to the pastor and ask to be forgiven of his sins, be cleansed, I began to understand what forgiveness meant. It took a big man to fall on his knees before the pastor instead of beating the tar out of him, especially knowing what Stanley knew. The pastor scowled when he stepped into the water. He yanked Stanley to his side, raised his hand into the air, and started to preach on the sins buried in his soul. Pastor, be careful. Stanley's legs aren't strong. That cold water will wash more from him than his sin, I said. I tinkered with the pages of Pastor's Bible. The rough edges of worn leather snagged the flesh on my fingers. I'll be up on the rocks when you get settled. Come on up. Maddie's hair flailed in the breeze like a sheet hanging on the line. She'd been my friend for years. She stayed my friend, even though. Wow, did you hear the culture, the voice, the flavor in the beginnings of that novel? I know you will love Mercy's Rain by Cindy Sproles. It is an incredible story.